that's exactly what I'm not doing. I am reviewing the worst comic book film, one of the worst, today. And for those who disagree, leave the review now. I am here to talk about X-Men 3, The Last Stand. See this? You see this? Out the window. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to have to get a whiteout, because I'm going to need one to block out the horrible memories of what I just saw. I'm so terrible. Why did I buy that movie? Oh my gosh, it was so horrible. I gotta get my awesome chair. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Okay. Guys, we all know that there's bad comic book films out there. Heck, there's quite a few. But for X-Men, this is no excuse. I mean, come on. Hold on one other second. Trying to get the... Dang it! Yeah, I'll have to do that. So, before I get started, Mountain Dew Whiteout. Always good for whenever you want to block out horrible memories. Alright, so, there's a buttload of things wrong with this movie. But first, let's talk about, first of all, for those of you who don't know, the script for the movie was actually supposed to involve characters such as the Hellfire Club, Gambit, Emma Frost, and the Phoenix. What we got was not the Phoenix, not the Hellfire Club, not frickin' Gambit. I don't understand why, but I digress. So, this film is basically talking about probably two of the greatest X-Men stories combined. The Phoenix Saga, and the Dark Phoenix Saga, and the Cure Saga, or the Cure story. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let me just, for those of you who are big X-Men fans, you already know what I'm about to say. But, in the Cure story, there was no freaking cure! The cure was a thing to make people slaves for Apocalypse! Oh, and by the way, Apocalypse is not in this movie either. What the heck is wrong with you people? Okay, reasons why this film was the script was horrible is because the original person who wrote the first two films didn't do this one because he went on to do some Superman movie that I've never heard of that was never made. Yeah, no, that never happened. So, this is continuing from X2, X-Men the United, where it starts out with a kid trying to cut something off of his back, and his father sees, and he says, "Oh no, not you," and then we go into the credits. First of all, here's one of the many problems. If your son is a mutant, that's a good way to express it. Dad, guess what? I'm a mutant. Oh no, not you. Not you. I lost your sister. Don't do this to me. Not you. Not you. Oh my gosh, grow up. So your son's a mutant. Big whoop. I mean, yeah, Iceman's parents didn't like when he was a mutant, but you know what? He left. Of course, though, he was sent to Xavier School for the Gifted, but that's not the point. Alright, so let me get into the credits. And, oh my gosh. Okay, so the first part of the movie is explosions, and you're thinking, oh, some awesome battles going on. And then, all of a sudden, they're talking about, yeah, the kids aren't ready or something like that, and Logan's smoking a cigar, and we get Colossus, Rogue, Iceman, Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde, Wolverine, Storm. And so, all of a sudden, Colossus shields Rogue from a rock and comes and smacks Wolverine in the face, and he's like, whole world's going to heck, and you're just going to stand there? Let's go. So then they're all in this big battle thing, and then all of a sudden, Kitty Pryde, or Bobby stops a missile and saves Kitty Pryde. All of a sudden, Kitty's like, Bobby! She hugs him and uses her power on him. This is Rogue's expression. Is there something going on between these two? Are you freaking high? Kitty Pryde was just saving Bobby from getting killed. Nightcrawler saved you, and you didn't have any problems with that? Oh yeah, here's a question. Why is Nightcrawler not in this movie? The second film had him set up to be an important part of this, but where is Nightcrawler? You have to apparently go play the frickin' X-Men 3 game to find out. You don't want to figure that out. You don't want to have to play a game going, oh man, why is Nightcrawler not in the film? And then you play it, you're like, that's it? That's it. So for some reason, no one wanted to touch up on the story of how Mystique is Nightcrawler's mother. Yeah, why? Why, Rand Ratner, or whatever your name is, why did you not want to touch up on that? X-Men fans would be happy. We would be happy instead of frickin' pissed. We would not be upset. But you raped our minds, and you almost made us hate X-Men. Forget you, Red Ratner. Alright, so then after that, we saw this big robot thing. You're like, oh man, what the heck is that? All of a sudden, that was my last cigar. And Storm and Logan are giving us... Storm in this movie does nothing but moan and complain, and she's basically being immature. It's like, we work as a team. Logan, don't do this! Logan, don't do this! So he all of a sudden gets Colossus to throw him, and he cuts off the head. And all of a sudden, bam, it's the head of a Sentinel. And then major fans are probably going to be like, or like, oh my gosh, Sentinels! They're fighting Sentinels! The Sentinels are here! Wait a minute, what's going on? Oh, they're... The Danger Room. Okay, alright. The Danger Room. The Danger Room. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call a cock tease! It's when they throw bits and pieces of stories and they don't explain it. They just expect you to figure out what the heck is going on. Well, here's something. If no one knows what these are, chances are they're going to be pretty confused. Think! Oh, gosh. Alright, well then, they're arguing about how, yeah, best offense is a good defense or whatever, and he's like, hey, I'm just a sub. You got a problem, talk to Scott. And Scott's all going crazy about how the death of Jean Grey, which I can understand. He loved Jean and she died. She sacrificed herself. But all Cyclops does is the same thing Storm does. Complain and moan. He's a whiny little wimp. What the heck? So then he goes to Alkali Lake, back where Jean died, and he's hearing Jean's voice in his head. And he's like, step! Yeah! He takes off his glass and you see his awesome power. I honestly hope that was the... I hope that you enjoyed seeing his power, because that's the very last time you're going to see it in this movie. So then all of a sudden, it's like he opened something or whatever, and all of a sudden, boom, Jean's back, and he's like, Jean, how the heck? I don't know. So like, he hugs her, and then she's like, I want to see your eyes. What? No. Take them off. You can't hurt me. I can control it now. So yeah, then they start making out, and then all of a sudden, boom, Scott all of a sudden's like, what the heck is this? And all of a sudden, for some reason... Everyone in the school can hear this, but for some reason, Wolverine and Storm are the only ones that are going, hey, something's going wrong. We need to check and see what's going on. What about Colossus? What about Iceman? Rogue! So then the professor's like, get to Alkali Lake. But my question is, how would he know where to go? Oh yeah, because the plot says so. Because the plot says so. So yeah, they go to Alkali Lake, and Storm's like, you don't want to be here, do you? Can't see a dang thing. I can take care of that. Oh, and by the way, Halle Berry, I'm sure you're a phenomenal actress. You know, besides the fact that you messed up in this and Catwoman, but that movie never happened. That movie never happened. If you were Storm, why doesn't Storm have long hair? She's supposed to have long hair. In this film, she does not have long hair. In the first film, she had long white hair. In the second film, she cut it up a bit, but we forgave her because it wasn't that short. In this film, it's... She looks like she's going to prison, for goodness sake. You know, like when women go to prison, they have their hair cut? Yeah, that's what she's looking like she's getting ready to go to. Prison! So then she gets rid of all the fog, and Logan finds Cyclops' glasses, and they find Jean, and then... This is what suckered fans in so deep. so deep. The Phoenix. So when they take Jean back to the institute, the professor's like, the only way that Jean could have survived is if her powers wrapped her up in a cocoon of telekinetic energy or whatever. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, at the beginning of the film, they try to do a thing where Magneto or Eric Lensher and Charles Xavier, when they're recruiting mutants, they're recruiting Jean Grey. Okay, they take the guy who played Xavier out of the chair. Fine, but they don't look 20 years younger! You honestly think cheap makeup or any makeup at all is going to make them look like they're 20 years younger? No! 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 Oh. So then they're talking about how we're not going to have to recruit a lot, stuff like that. So then they go to Jean's parents. They talk to Jean's parents, and her dad's like, what about Jean's illness? You think your daughter's sick, Mr. Gray? Perhaps we should talk to Jean alone. Fine. Jean, can you come down here? And everyone's like, yeah, we're going to get to see Jean. Wait, Jean's a child. Why isn't she a teenager? Okay, yeah, and here's something else. If you notice, in the cartoon, or in the first X-Men film, Jean has trouble with... She can control her powers, her telekinesis, but she can only lift one or two things at a time. In this film, she raises up every single car in the neighborhood, along with Stan Lee's water hose, and the guy who wrote the Phoenix Saga's lawnmower. Guy, I applaud you for the work that you've done. I really do. I love every single thing Stan Lee has ever done! Actually, I'm a comic book geek. So, they're like, we're mutants, we're like you. Really, I doubt that. And then she does the whole car lifting thing. And then, will you control your powers, or will you let them control you? And then we get into everything I've already talked about. So, then we get to Beast. Which, I'm going to say, Beast is one of the only good things about this film. Beast. Except, Beast is not a frickin' secretary in the White House! He's not! He's the scientist! I mean, okay, in the first X-Men film, Jean Grey is the scientist, which, you know, that's not particularly true. Beast is the doctor, but we forgave it because it was so good. In this film, Beast is not even a doctor. He is a stupid secretary in the United Nations. But he's smart. He acts like Beast. He talks like Beast. He is Beast. Just they messed up what he is. So anyway, he's saying that there's a meeting, and it's the president, and the president's gotten pretty old, but I digress. Oh gosh. So they're talking about how they found Mystique, and they're making some kind of new prisons, and how they've been having trouble finding her because she can manipulate anyone. And they're like, you know who she's been imitating? Secretary Trask here. Trask is not the Secretary of Defense. He made the Sentinels to go capture mutants. He is not the Secretary of Defense. Think! So then they're doing an interview with Mystique, and how they're like, where's Magneto? Raven? Raven? I don't answer my slave name. Raven's your real name, or did he try to convince you don't have a family anymore? My family tried to kill me, you pathetic me sack. Fail. Just fail. Fail. So anyway, after a few more changing tricks, he's like, where's Magneto? You want to know where he is? She gets the handcuffs from behind her back, kicks this guy in the face. She's choking this guy, and the one insulting thing she can say is, Homo sapien. And then they somehow contain her, and yada, yada, yada. So then they talk about how they're doing multiple prisons, and for some mutants, I highly doubt that a movable prison is going to keep one of these mutants in. I highly doubt it. Okay, so after that, the professor talks about how, they learn about the cure, And then there's these people of mutants in a church, and they're having a meeting, when this one guy is like, these people don't understand what it's like to be a mutant. We need to get a group together and talk to the government. Yes, that is the smart thing to do. Tell the people we don't need a cure, and that's it. But no, Magneto's like, no one ever talks about extermination. They just do it. And you're wanting to organize, make no mistake, my brothers. They will draw first blood. We need to take blood to them. No, Magneto, that is not what you need to do. That is freaking stupid. So he says, who are you with, the mutants or us? Or who are you with, the humans or us? And so then, one of the group of characters they messed up in this movie. A lot of these mutants in this movie are just to be in the movie. Like Angel, for example. Angel, Cyclops, the Morlocks! Yes, the Morlocks are just in this film to be in this film. They serve no purpose because Ratner got a lot of their powers wrong. Okay, so first of all, we get Callisto, who apparently Magneto asks all of them, what are your talents? And she moves super fast. No, Callisto cannot do that. She has heightened senses. And she also says that she can sense other mutants and their powers. That was Facade's power. Excuse me. They got almost all of the Morlocks' powers wrong. They got Arclight's powers with her being able to use shockwaves with her hands. They got that right. Oh, and the Cure is a Morlock himself. Jimmy Leach, he was living with the Morlocks since he was 5 years old. If you want to make an X-Men movie, read the comics! And don't put stories together that are from different universes. The Dark Phoenix saga is from a different, I think that's from Uncanny X-Men, and no, the first two were from a series called Uncanny X-Men, and then the Cure story was from another series of X-Men that Jean Grey's not even in. So combining these two would make no sense at all. Okay, so then we get to where we get to talk about the Phoenix. Professor Xavier is talking about that Jean was the only mutant at a high level, at a class 5. Since when did the mutants get a class and grade system? I mean, come on. So, like how Jean was one of the most powerful mutants on this planet, or whatever like that. And it's because she had so much power, the professor locked out half of her memory, along with her powers, and in sessions, it came to call itself the Phoenix. Okay. Let me tell you something. Do you guys remember do you remember the symbiote from the Spider-Man comics and the Spider-Man cartoons? The symbiote is a being that, when attaching itself to someone, corrupts their mind if they do not want the same thing the symbiote wants and makes you crazy. The Phoenix was the same thing. In the comics, it is a symbiotic being, the guardian of the M'Kraan crystal. When the X-Men went to space, it attached itself to Jean Grey. She became Phoenix. She then went nuts, and she was killed, and then when she came back, she was brought back as Dark Phoenix, and the X-Men killed her. If you're making notes on this review, this is going to come important later. The X-Men killed her. The X-Men. Okay, so after that, he's talking about how Jean has to be controlled and stuff like that. And so then Magneto sets free, he finds Mystique, thanks to, Callisto. Oh, and by the way, Callisto's supposed to be white, not Puerto Rican! She's not Puerto Rican, she's white! Now, I'm just gonna say, no racism intended. I am not racist at all. Just taking that into advisement when they mess up a character. Oh, here's a spoiler alert for something that's totally not on this subject, like how them messing with this. In the Amazing Spider-Man 2 film, they are wanting to make Mary Jane Watson a man. Keep that in mind, people. See the similarities? So he finds Mystique, and she's like, it's about time, I've been busy. Did you find anything? She found where the cure is, yada, yada, yada. Read off the guest list. So they talk about, they find James Mavericks, known as Multiple Man, which he doesn't serve much purpose to this movie either. Then we get to probably the most dangerous mutant besides Jean Grey in the... Oh, no, wait, no. We get probably one of the most dangerous villains from Marvel Comics, Juggernaut. Okay, first of all, let me just tell you this. Juggernaut, 1, is supposed to be 9 feet tall. 2, he is not a mutant. And 3, he is Xavier's half-brother. And 4, his helmet is to protect him from Xavier's mind powers. What do they say his powers are used for? Keeps my face pretty. So yeah, then after that, a guard shoots Mystique, she becomes human, and this was something even worse. Mystique and Magneto have a relationship. They have love for each other. It's built up in the comics. If you watch X-Men First Class, or the first X-Men, or the second X-Men, they have a connection. They have history. In X-Men First Class, when he seen that Raven was trying to hide her true self, he didn't say he didn't like her because he liked her, but the fact that she was holding back her true self is what he did not like. Magneto would never do what he did. When she became human from the Cure, he said, "You're not one of us anymore. You can't come with us." Magneto would never do this. Yes, Magneto was a villain, but he would never be this cold to people. Especially not Mystique, because of the history they have together. So, after that, so then they find out that Jean's practically schizophrenic and crazy. Wolverine wakes her up, and he's scratching her face all of a sudden, wham! Like in Punisher, when they're fixing up his wound. He looks weak. Is he gonna die? Opinions aren't everything. You can let go now. Yeah, so she's like doing a Terminator grab, like, ugh. And then all of a sudden she wakes up. He's like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm more than okay." And then she does a seduce thing, like where she pulls off the things off of her chest, and she's like, "Logan, you're making me blush. Are you reading my thoughts? I don't have to." Dude, you just found out that she's freaking psycho, and you're gonna nail her? You're gonna do it now? He's probably thinking, "Oh man, what the heck? It's been so long." So then all of a sudden they're making out and everything, and then it gets too intense for him. And then all of a sudden she's like, her eyes get big, and then she's like, she forgets where she is. She's like, "Where am I? You're in the mansion. What happened to Scott? You need to tell me what happened to Scott." And then she's like, "Kill me." What? "Kill me before I kill someone else." Stop. Kill me. And then all of a sudden, the split personality is in control for a bit. And then he's like, "Hey, he can fix it." And then all of a sudden we get a full transformation. "I don't want to fix it." What is she, possessed by Pazuzu from The Exorcist? What the heck? And she destroys a door in the X-Men mansion. Yeah, why couldn't anyone in the mansion hear this? I mean, it was a loud bang. I mean, you figure, even if it's in the basement, you'd still be able to hear it. It's a door. So then they find Logan. They're like, "What happened?" "I think she killed Scott." "I warned you." So then when they see that they put the cure in a gun, both Magneto and his people go to find Jean along with Professor X and them. And they don't touch upon the fact that Juggernaut and Xavier are half-brothers. You figure Xavier would go, "How did you get out of maximum security without me knowing? You're going back." No, they don't acknowledge that at all. And Magneto's like, "Don't let anyone come in the house." And then all of a sudden Jean's like all, "Stay out of my head." And stuff like that, and how Magneto's like, "You need to not hold her back. She's a danger to everyone. I think you want to give her the cure." And she throws a whiny fit, and then all of a sudden we get a fight between Wolverine and Juggernaut and Callisto and Storm, and they all get thrown into the house. And then all of a sudden she turns the professor into freaking confetti. I mean, come on. Whose birthday is it? I mean, that's one heck of a surprise. "Hey guys, I ran out of confetti." Whoosh, there you go. Surprise! So she kills the professor, and she lifts up the house. She throws it down in the exact same place. The professor's chair gets thrown up and put back in the same place. They have a funeral, and we get more... They try to connect between Bobby and Kitty Pryde, And you know how Bobby is comforting Kitty Pryde because she's upset because the professor came to see her, so she's upset that he died. So he is being a good person by helping her get over it by ice skating. And Rogue looks outside and she's like, okay, I swear, if he just wants her, he just needs to come tell me. I'll do fine. Okay. Rogue. He's just helping her. He's not cheating on her. He's not cheating on you. Grow up. So then all of a sudden she's upset. And she's upset because I can't touch my boyfriend without killing him. Everything's fine. Hey, have I never put that pressure on you? You're a guy, Bobby. Your mind's only on one thing. Yeah, in the comics and in the TV show, yes, Rogue had trouble touching her boyfriend. And I mean just like holding the hand or a handshake or kiss or whatever. Yes, she did. But she decided not to get the cure and live with it because of how much she loved Gambit. Not Iceman, Gambit. She loved him so much that it didn't bother her that she could not kiss him. She got over it because she grew up. In this film, it's the opposite. So Wolverine's telling her how he thinks that she should do whatever she wants to do, and I'm not your father, I'm your friend. Yeah, friends normally would tell them you're fine just the way you are. I mean, come on. So she goes to go get the cure, and after she goes to go get the cure, Bobby tries to follow her, and then him and Pyro have a bit of a thing about how, you're going to take the cure so you can go back home to Mommy and Daddy? And how he's looking for Rogue, and she's like, I figured she would come get the girl, come get the cure. She's pathetic. He makes an ice fist. He starts fire, and then all of a sudden, he sets fire to the place where they're giving the cure, and Magneto threatens that if you don't get rid of the cure, we will come after people. So then, they say, Secretary Trask, you've got to find Magneto, you got to stop him, and then the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, the sheriff, he's voicing in this film, turn in all metal, your dog tags, absolutely no metal. Dude, why would you do that? You're such a good actor. Why? Oh, no wonder you're doing Geico commercials now. May your career rest in peace if you get another one. So anyway, Logan tries to sneak off after him and Storm have a fight. He's trying to go get Jean, and she's like, she's gone. She's gone. Yeah? Well, that wasn't her. I'm going to go get her. So, when he's looking at the professor's gravestone, Jean sends him some kind of telekinesis thing of telling where they are. So he gets out there, and he's going through mutants one by one. And we get Spikes in this film. Spikes was Storm's nephew, but he was a good guy. He was never part of the Brotherhood. Now, Pyro was not part of the Institute. He was always part of the Brotherhood, but that's another time. Then he gets in a big fight with him, and he ends up killing Spikes. And you know that you've got to say, oh, dang it, I just killed Storm's nephew. Oh, man, I'm so screwed. So then, Magneto makes a speech about how they think they can cure us, but I think we are the cure. When did he become Hitler? I mean, this seriously does sound like Hitler. I mean, come on. But so then after that, Logan finds Jean, and Magneto finds him, and he's like, I could smell you out of my tent from a mile away. Seriously, you need to take a shower. So then he's like, I'm not leaving here without her. Yes, you are. Oh, and by the way, when he kills Spikes, he gets stabbed in the stomach by Spikes. Where are the holes in his shirt? I mean, come on. Oh, my gosh. That's like in Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, when you see Freddy clearly stabbed through his whole body, and then he falls on the floor, and then there's no hole in his back. So anyway, then after that, he goes off and tells, hey, I know where they're going. Oh, and by the way, Angel comes to the Institute, and Angel, I believe in the comics, was the first person to go get the cure, but it wasn't a cure. It was a serum to make him a slave for Apocalypse. The cure was a serum to make people a stronger mutant. It turned him into Archangel and a slave to Apocalypse. If they gave any mutants the cure, he would have an army, but Apocalypse isn't in this movie. You can't have the cure story without Apocalypse. That's like having the symbiote story without the proper Venom. Spider-Man 3 reference, note. So then after that, we get like the big epic battle, and speak for Wolverine, yeah, we're X-Men, we lost a professor, and we're not going to let anything else bad happen. You ready? Yeah, let's go. So then they get there. Oh, and by the way, Magneto moves a freaking bridge, and all the cars stay on there. I call bull crap. Bull crap. Oh, and something else that they mentioned about how the government possibly made the cure, and him and Wolverine and Beast are arguing, and he says, my boy, I've been fighting for mutant rights since before you had claws. Yeah. Wolverine is older than Beast. He's been around since freaking World War I. So, okay, then after that we get the big epic battle, and how the soldiers have plastic weapons, so he sends Arc Light to destroy the weapons. He sends Juggernaut out to kill the boy, and he sends all these other useless mutants out. It's like throwing a sea lion to a great white shark. It's like sending 1,000 sea lions to the great white shark. You know they're going to get cured. You know they're going to get killed. So he's like, in chess, the pawns go first. So then, he starts throwing cars with fire thanks to Pyro. We get the final epic fight between Pyro and Iceman. And all it is Iceman grabs Pyro's things, turns into Iceman, hits him in the head, and he goes like, you never should have left. And it was like only 50 seconds to 1 minute. Fail. What the heck? You set us up for this epic battle that you know is going to happen, and that's it? My gosh. That's like in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, when we're setting up for an epic fight between him and the Fallen, and it's only like 2 minutes or a minute. Fake! So, oh gosh. Oh, it went up my nose. Oh, my brain. Excuse me again. So then, after that, Logan figures, hey, we can use the cure on him. He sends them out one by one, and Kitty goes after Juggernaut, and what's hilarious is Kitty jumps through the wall, grabs Juggernaut, and puts him down in there, and he's like, don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, witch! So then he chases after her, and then she finds him. She tries to go through the wall, but it won't work because he's the cure. Bull crap. Oh, and by the way, the cure is a Morlock named Jimmy Leach, whose skin was green. And he lived with the Morlock since he was 5 years old, like I said earlier. So then when Juggernaut comes and tries to attack, before that, he's like, I'm the wrong guy to play hide and seek with. Who's hiding? Excuse me for my language, but this is hilarious that even the people who made this movie even realize that Juggernaut's helmet makes him look like a giant metal dick. So then she says, who's hiding, dickhead? And then he runs, knocks himself out. Again, Juggernaut is not a mutant! He got his powers from the Ruby of Cynorak. His powers are magical! He wasn't born with them! Oh, and by the way, when I was talking about that mobile prison, that would not be enough to hold Juggernaut. In the cartoon, or one of the versions of the cartoon, they had him in maximum security in a freaking tube of some kind of special plasma that knocked him unconscious and kept him from moving. Simple steel isn't going to do it. So then after that, we get a whole big thing of how Wolverine asks Colossus to throw him, make it a strike. He says, you never learn. Beast comes in, stabs him with the cure. A full thing of cure. That would have made him probably as strong as the Phoenix. Probably. So then after that, they do the, it's over, Gene, it's over. Oh, and by the way, these random thing of soldiers come out of nowhere. Okay, and here's the reason why this is dumb. They go out into the forest to find Magneto's people. It's multiple man. They're 30 minutes away. There is no way that they could walk. It would take him at least an hour or two just to get back to the city. If they're 30 minutes away by car, yeah, that's different. On foot, I don't see it happening. Fail. So then after that, they shoot at Jean, and all of a sudden Jean turns everyone into confetti, and he tells Storm, I'm the only one who can stop her, go. She tries to turn Wolverine into confetti. For some reason, they bring the fact that Wolverine's adamantium is indestructible, and I understand that. But if Jean can take out anyone, I'm pretty sure she could take out Wolverine. But this is a messed up story, so hey, what do we know? So then after that, he gets up to her and she's like, save me. I love you. Okay, now before I even say this, in the comics, she is resurrected and brought back as Dark Phoenix. The X-Men kill her, not Wolverine. The X-Men. Note the word men. Multiple people. X-Men, not X-Man. Not one person. Wolverine stabs her, screams, no! Then they have a funeral for Jean Grey and Scott. Oh, by the way, where did they find Scott's body? No, seriously, tell me, where did they find Scott's body? Unless they buried nothing down there, because his glasses got destroyed. Where is his body? Tell us these things, people. We'd like to know. So then after that, he goes outside and he's all happy, like, yep, I just killed my girlfriend. Gosh, I need a drink. So then all of a sudden, Bobby comes back in and notices Rogue's on the bed, and he's like, you're back. I'm sorry I had to. This isn't what I wanted. I know it's what I wanted. Yeah, and then if you watch the deleted scenes, it shows that she didn't get the cure. So then after that, we get people playing chess. Magneto moves the chess piece. Movie's over. Okay, let me also tell you something else. If the cure was only going to work for a certain amount of time, what's the point of doing the cure story if the cure is not going to stick forever? Waste of story and plot point! Alright, guys, I'm just going to tell you, there is a multiple bad comic book films. I'm just going to name a few. X-Men The Last Stand. Elektra. The First Ghost Rider. Batman and Robin. X-Men The Last Stand is on that list. If you have a problem with it, go on the internet and tell what you think. Because this is my opinion. Guys, I'm the Phenomenal Critic. I will be doing another Platinum Dooms remake review soon. Have a good day.